Boom, baby. Boom. Rise and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host with the mostest, Marquis Saint, and every morning I get up and I am blessed, and you are blessed too. Here's your healthy reminder of mental health, physical health, and financial health. This is all about us being better people. I'm waking up on the shine this morning, and I thought about choosing my addictions wisely. See, I chose my addiction. I keep marijuana as my addiction, named my company Saints Addiction. Got my whole company in here, Saints Addiction. Are you in the way? Yeah, you're in the way. Saints Addiction. Just because I knew that I was powerless, or I felt powerless to my addictions, and it started to chip away at me. I wondered where all my time went. I wondered what I spent my energy on, especially this last little bit, me traveling. I got to ask myself, hey, self, what are you doing? What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your emotions? What are you doing with your energy? And it turns out I was wasting it. I was finding ways to avoid the truth. I was finding ways to avoid my reality, and I was finding ways to avoid my inaction. And it's so easy for us to burn time or burn through time. Let me get this going here, where we burn some motivation instead of getting shit done. And there's something that's a little bit annoying about projects that need to get done, but we don't do them. We put it aside. We do something else more entertaining. We find all sorts of excuses to do something with our energy except for use it for constructive purposes. And it's such a waste of time putting on makeup to make someone else love us, or putting in time to buy a product that won't love us back, or putting our times into addictions that only become a detriment to us later. And how many of us can say that, How many of us can say that, well, I felt a certain way, my emotions took over me, and I started to drink. Yours truly did that once. I did that. I was 21, and I had my first DUI, and I had spotted my ex-girlfriend, someone I've loved since high school, and I was at the Dollar Drinks on Wednesday at Tom and Jerry's. It doesn't even exist anymore. And I started to drink. Bless up. And instead of smoking weed, which I didn't do at the time, I started to drink. And I started to get so drunk that I told my friend I couldn't drive. And he didn't really listen to me. He took me to my car, and I ended up driving home. And instead of going home, I went to Del Taco down in Sunset, and got pulled over by the police. And as I opened my wallet to get my ID, all my identification spilled everywhere in front of the police. I had not chosen wisely. I had not chosen myself or my future over my wants and my needs. I wanted something, I guess over my wants were way over my needs. I wanted to feel loved. And if I couldn't feel loved, I didn't want to feel anything at all. How many of us can say that? How many of us can say that we directly get affected by our emotions? And this is a deep thought I had this morning of just how out of control I was with my emotions. I would get thrown off. It would fuck up my whole day, and my anxiety would go up, my stress would go up, the feelings of things that I didn't have control over started to take over. Like the plane flying overhead, it became louder than any other voice in my head. That's what I realized, that I had an unlimited amount of potential, an unlimited amount of limitlessness, but I kept stunting my growth. And as I come back from 5 months of overseasness and figuring out what makes me tick, I had to ask myself, self, what do you really want? Why do you do the things you do? And turns out, escapism, right? This morning, besides from my push ups, I didn't do. Everything else, I just started to sort myself and choose wisely on what I was going to put my energy towards. I'm supposed to be making a shirt every day, accountability, what you're supposed to do instead of what you run to. And that's your habit, right? Your habit's going to dictate your behavior. You may not be able to choose your personality, but you'll be able to choose your habits, and your habits are like the cream on top of the pie. You have your substance of who you are, and then it's magnified by the toppings. And how many of us go in there sprinkling all sorts of toppings just to make our behavior change? Now, our personality isn't the original flavor, it's a mixture of flavors. It's a mixture of a lot of energy. And that's what I started to realize, where people were a lot of energy. Some people have no control over their energy. Some people don't even know why they are there or what they are doing or whatever it was that they are chasing. You inevitably come sober. You come sober to your finish line and go, how did I get here? How did I get to this horrible relationship? How did I get to doing hard drugs? How did I get to being arrested and constantly in front of the police? It was a question I had to ask myself. And for those that don't want that in their lives, they will be willing to do anything but to be that way in their lives. Sort of like being poor. There are people that are willing to steal broad daylight on a bicycle and get chased down by gunpoint in Brazil because they're that desperate. We do desperate decisions. A lot of people don't want to admit how desperate they are. They want to pretend that they're solid. And I stopped pretending and I started counting. We talked about counting blessings yesterday, but I counted how many times I let my stress dictate the outcome of the situation. How I would be triggered and then I would start speaking negatively. And like my best friend was here yesterday, he said the old me would tell him to mind his own fucking business and tell his fat ass to go on with his life. And then he didn't say that. And therefore the guy who was a control over the finance department or whatever started getting him a better deal instead of a higher percentage on the rate that he got. Now, you might think that your personality doesn't dictate your outcomes, but if he had teed off on this guy, he'd still be paying almost 30% interest rate. So it affects your bottom line. We affect our bottom lines. We affect the outcome. And that's what's so important about getting your mind right in the morning. And why I do the show, so that you can improve your outcome. I keep saying it. My nose starts running every morning, but I keep saying it, but there's a better way. Playing overhead. More people are flying into Vegas. It's noticeable. But our choices, right? Like, we get mad at the outcomes, but we don't get mad at um, our inputs, right? We're only mad at the end result, and we're not mad at the ingredients we used or how well we followed the instructions. Even a pie or a cake has instructions, and if you don't add the right recipe, you're not going to get the end result. That's just facts. And like my father used to say, you can't make chicken soup out of chicken shit. So if we're sprinkling the negative stuff all over ourselves, it's not that I don't want you to party. It's not that I don't want you to be heightened or excited. I can't take that stuff away from you, because truth is, most of those people that are heightened have come up from a valley. They started from this. They went down first, and they're desperately trying to get up. Just like that guy desperately stole something in broad daylight on a bicycle. He was that desperate. And most people want to put like themselves put together. I'm not desperate. I don't need love. I don't need nobody. I just need money. And it's like you're hugging the wrong devil, right? One devil can break your heart, but teach you the ultimate light of love. And the other devil makes you dependent on it. That's why we call it addiction. It makes you believe that it's your new God, and that you're always going to need a beer to be happy, or you're always going to need another person in your life to be happy. And we don't do the hard work. We don't concentrate on ourselves and go, okay, let's work on those habits of ours. We'll work on something like more hours on the day. It's easier to just pick up another shift than to shift your consciousness, than to shift your ability to process your triggers. Most of us don't know why we're even triggered. We're just going to go off, tee off, and start yelling at people and wondering why we don't have any friends. Wonder how we could be so abusive, how we could hit our own children. People like to believe that their families are put together, but they're bound tightly or sometimes not so tight at all. There's a lot of us out here that are missing our links with our families. We aren't connected anymore. We don't cohabitate together. We're taught to get our own places. We are only one click away for support instead of actually sitting and talking like we used to. We need each other like the surfers need the ocean. I'm trying to get all this dirt up. You know, we go to these, I kept saying to people, all these surfers are going out to the ocean for hours because they need the hours on their brain. They can't afford a psychologist for 4 hours, but they need about a psychologist of 4 hours of just getting their brain to not waste time doing drugs, not escape their own mind and reality, but to harness their chi. You know, you're taking the inertia of the ocean, you're taking the inertia of life. I take the inertia of the people in my life, the love that they show me, making time for me, wanting to come see me. I could have nobody knocking on the door, and then there goes the loneliness, and then the loneliness seeks the numbness, and the numbness keeps you convinced that that's the new devil that you need, and that you hold on to this addiction, that this alcohol, this cocaine, this other person isn't affecting me anymore. Instead of asking yourself, why is it affecting you in the first place? What is affecting you? What is triggering you? What is initiating your change, your consciousness? How are you going to initiate your Monday? How are you going to initiate yourself? I have plans today to do some drawings. I'm going to talk about myself because I can't speak for you. But drawing out some logos, it's starting to chip away at me. I was supposed to have all my taxes done. I don't want to crack the whip on other people to get my stuff done. I just want to get it done myself. I need to go pick up the vinyl. I grabbed the wrong vinyl. I kind of knew, but wasn't thorough, so it's my own fault. But I am making some decals, so I'm gonna spend my morning enjoying a good smoke, enjoying a good breakfast, some good calories, some health in my life, and some patience in my brain. Instead of jumping on the Monday train and trying to outwork everybody, I'm gonna sit still long enough to alleviate that nagging thing in my heart here, that my logo's not right. The Saints brand logo's not right. It's not perfect. So I didn't approach Mark Echo. Until it's perfect, I can't come to him because he's so high and mighty. I cut all that. I'm like, let's just draw this thing out. Let's do the best that we can. We'll do it 10 times. You know how to make other people's logos. Time to make your own damn logo. Stop being afraid of your future. Stop being afraid of perfection. Stop being afraid of connection. So yeah, I'm not perfect. I will let Mark Echo know that, and maybe, just maybe, he can help me source some of the linens or the shirts that I'm trying to achieve, or maybe distribution level of, you know, I'm already worldwide, but to really get it out there, to really get it in the athletes' hands and make every donation count and go towards Saintsgiving. So, you know, I do these shows every morning. I chose weed as my addiction because I had a tough time. You know, I wanted to be clear about that. As my friend was on probation, he had to quit smoking. I could tell he missed it because he asked, you know, what kind of strains things were, when is his date done for prohibition and all that stuff, right? We all have it. We all have an addiction because we all have emotions. It's really hard for human beings to process the reason they do things. Normally, just in existence, it's emotion to emotion. There's no connection. It's just running, flight from every emotion. Smoke. Flight, traffic, energy. We just keep running from energy to energy, stimulus to stimulus, and we're junkies. We're all addicted to something. We don't know it, but that's the way we operate. You're addicted to food. You don't know it, but you're yearning for food, and all of us have it. Um, I have it more than most people. It tends to comfort me so much that I overeat. And I just keep eating because I like the way it makes me feel. And you'll keep drinking because you like the way it makes you feel. And you'll do anything to feel that feeling of love, of drugs. I just so happen to want real love over drugs. I'm gonna have to make a shirt, love over drug. But love is a drug. And I was choosing it sometimes falsely as lust, or I was choosing somebody else to make me feel better, placating other people's needs to mend to mine. And addicts do that. We're talking about it the other day. The other best friend, he's a salesman. He has the ultimate way of selling, unlocking people and getting them to do what he wants them to do for his outcome, but he won't do what he needs to do for himself for his own outcome. It was easier for him to control other people than to control himself. And this is the behavior that I'm talking about this morning. That choose wisely. Choose wisely what you do with your time. Choose wisely what you put in your mouth. Choose wisely how you treat others. And there's facts. And this is the coverage of the show. So as I've experienced my outcomes improve, bing, they get way better because I improved my attitude. I treated people better. I responded better. I was less negative. When you're vibing like an asshole, when you're like, don't want to talk to nobody or nobody understands me. This happens. This nose happens all the time. Yeah, my nose always running every morning. I think it's the fan. Anyway, so be careful what you put in your mouth, not only including food, but the way you talk. A lot of people put hate in their speech, and that's why they started blocking it. Yes, it exists in real life, and it's sad. It's sad that some people run on jealousy. We're all guilty of it in some way or form. If we weren't that way, we wouldn't have social media, because it's a real show off of what you got and what other people don't have. And I didn't want people to be that way anymore. I wanted them to be okay with what they have. I'm actually feeling addiction to compulsion to posting. Like I just saw in my world 50 people post, but I didn't see the 20 people that didn't post and went on with their lives and actually lived it and actually went to water the plants or actually planted something or actually went and drew something. So, I'm not just gonna talk about it. I'm gonna be about it. I want to get to this drawing. I want to get off the show. I want my time back. So I'm just gonna be honest about it. I try to do 30 minutes every time when I go long, but here's 20 minutes. Here's another 20 minutes of my life, so I can improve your life. So if you got anything out of it, go ahead, hit the like, smash the like, share, subscribe button. Just smash it, dude. Help somebody out. You have the free chance to help somebody out. So it's this amazing way of showing love and us against the algorithm. If we loved everything that we liked, everything, it would fuck up the algorithm. So stop being stingy with your likes. Stop being stingy with your life. Stop being stingy with your light. Change it up. Share it. It's so amazing that the moment you open up, other people open up. And those gateways that used to be blocked for you are now open, and the gateways that used to be blocked for you here are now open. So not only opportunities in front of you, but the intensity inside of you, right? We're all limitless and we tend to block it. It's so weird. I have to talk about psychosis every morning when I smoke. It's like, what the fuck? Why do we do that? Why do people do that? Why do people talk so much shit? Why do we hate if someone else is doing good? Why don't we all want to just all have something good? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why does my good have to take away from your good? So I just want everybody to be better. And that's Saints brand. So I'm going to work on this logo right now. It's not the way I want it to be exactly. So I'm going to have to work on it. But that being said, I want you to go work on YouTube. Put the phone down. Please go do something with your life. Your hours are ticking away. And I want you to be accounted for it somehow, some way. So that's your morning marijuana motivation. On my heart from the start. It's your boy Marky Saints Addiction. I'm addicted to this positivity. I had to choose it because once I was on that dark side, I never thought I'd ever come back. And now that I'm shining and I got the light and there's more energy flying over me, I'm gonna let you go and go make something happen. Peace and love. And as always, chi gata. That means goodbye, but not forever. And I'll see you on the other side. Ciao.